Hello and welcome to Longship Gaming. Today we are playing some Marvel Champions. It's going to be Cable versus Morlock Siege, or in other words, Cable versus the Marauders, trying to attack the sewer systems where the Morlocks are hiding out underneath New York City. So, our long, dark time of a lack of new releases has finally come to an end. I wanted to get this up, of course, the Monday after it hit stores, but unfortunately my delivery was delayed. So here we are a bit later than I like, but you know, so be it. We have the next 5 weeks of new-ish content. We only got 2 members of X-Force yet, so I'm going to have to play the rest of the scenarios in Next Evolution using some other X-Men, try and keep it as close to on theme as possible. But yeah, very exciting. New stuff is always a good time. So, what do we have? So, I went and looked on the Marvel Champions database. Looked for what I thought was a fun deck for Cable, and I found one that really pushes card draw. I love card draw, and because card draw is great, because then you have a lot of resources to work with. And I found one that looked a lot of fun, or looked like a lot of fun. So, I have linked in the description below to that deck and credited the author. I made one minor change to it after a test play. I found that there was one important addition that needed to be made. But to go over what we have, so got an extra pile here because Cable can take his new, well, everyone's new kind of card, the player side schemes, and he can take player side schemes from any aspect. So we have 4 here. So we have Call for Backup. When defeated, each player may search their deck and discard pile for an ally and put it into play. And these are all, of course, victory cards, so they will end up going to the victory display and thinning your deck throughout the game. So you only get one shot at these. Establish Perimeter. Give each identity a tough status card. Sewer Power Training. Each player may search their deck and discard pile for an identity-specific upgrade and put it into play. And Build Support. Each player may search their deck and discard pile for a support with a cost of 3 or less and put it into play. And of course, he has his own signature one, which is probably the most powerful of them. It gives him +1 to all the stats across the board. And because these are only, they cost 1 to put out, and they are only 2 or 3 threat on them, they're very easy to manage. Especially early in the game, you can have, the intent is to have very explosive starts. So we are playing Justice, of course. So we have Bishop, Quake, Wiccan, and Quasar, with a lot of side schemes, of which there are a lot in Morlock Siege. We have 3 copies to clear the area, and 3 copies of one way or another. Just super amounts of card draw. To keep getting our allies back, we have Close Encounter. Now, the original deck has 3 copies of Skilled Investigator, so that you can manage to get that out as early as possible. I've replaced one of them with Under Surveillance. And Under Surveillance is intended to come out for Stage 2 of this scheme. Stage 2 only has a 8 threshold. And I have lost, of course, to the horror that is Advance. And Advance, from going from 0 to 8 on an Advance in turn, that felt really bad. So I've included in there to give us a little more wiggle room on Stage 2, because this scenario does inevitably make it to Stage 2 in 3 turns. For our basic cards, Professor X, Deadpool, Frenemies. Pretty good, actually, this one. Deal 1 damage to each Cable and Deadpool. Remove 3 threat from a scheme and 3 threat from a different scheme. And it's not too hard to keep Deadpool around. Weapon X, Energy, Strength, and Genius. For our scenario, this is not representative of the villain. There are 7 villains. There's Chimera, Vertigo, Blockbuster, Riptide, Arclight, Grey Crow, and Harpoon. So the goal of this particular scenario is we need to defeat 3 of them before they can scheme out and defeat the Morlocks. So this is not, we're going to randomly shuffle this when we come back for gameplay to choose who our villain is going to be. And try and knock through the 3 as quickly as possible. So their hit points, of course, vary. It's a 2-stage scheme. The first one has a threshold of 6. After resolving step 1 of the villain phase, place 1 knock counter here. If there are at least 3 knock counters, advance to stage 2A. And if there are 3 villains underrouted, the players win the game. So it starts on 1, goes up by 1 each turn. And it is inevitable that this is going to flip based on knock counters as they basically force their way into the Morlock tunnels in 3 turns. Routed here, we're playing an expert, of course. So that's why we're playing on the B side of the villains. Routed as an environment, expert mode only. Cards under here are not in play. The villain gains retaliate 1 for each card under here. So they will have a retaliate 2 by the time we're in a position to win. For Cable himself, he's got 12 hit points. He's Nathan Summers on his alter ego side with a 4 recovery. May include player side schemes from any aspect. Soldier X, set up, search your deck and discard pile for a player side scheme and put it into play. And he has the perfect stat line on his hero side, a 2, 2, and 2. As a response, after Cable defeats a side scheme, ready him limit once per phase. And he's got a hand size of 6 on one side and 5 on the other, which is pretty standard. And as I said, 12 health. So we're going to shove it up and be right back, and we'll get underway with Cable trying to rescue or head off this invasion of Marauders against the Morlocks in Morlock Siege. Alright, we're back. We're shuffled up and ready to go. We are going to shuffle up our villains without looking. I'm really trying not to look. I'm looking away. Who do we get on top? We get Harpoon. So, Harpoon has 13 health, 1 scheme, 3 attack. Force interrupt when Harpoon attacks you or an ally you control. Choose to take 3 indirect damage. Give Harpoon 1 additional face down boost card for this attack. This attack gains overkill. Nasty. So he's got to go fast because he's a real hard hitter. (13 health). Okay. So our starting 6. We have Wiccan, one way or another, Professor X, Chance Encounter, Mind Scan, and Establish Perimeter. Okay. Huh. These are all pretty good for us. Mind Scan is very potent to pretty much immediately get Technovirus. Wiccan is very good. Yeah, I don't really have an issue with this hand at all. Just lacking extra resources, but that's not really that big of a deal in this case. I think we're going to keep it all. But we get to search our deck and discard power for our player side scheme, and that is going to be Technovirus. There it is. So Technovirus Purge. Characters other than Cable cannot remove threat from Technovirus Purge. While Technovirus Purge is in the victory display, Nathan Summers and Cable gain the psionic trait, and Cable gets +1 thwart, +1 attack, and +1 defense, which is very good for him. So out it goes. It's going to have 5 threat on it, but it's not going to have that threat on it for very long. Okay. So, we're going to flip over. We're going to thwart it. Then we're going to put chance encounter on it. Whoops. We're going to I think we're going to spend, because we can get one of them back, so we're going to spend Professor X and Wiccan on the mind scan. So remove 3 threat from a scheme. So Technovirus Purge now goes to the victory display, and now we're at +1 to all of our stats except for recovery. That triggers chance encounter. So we're going to get Wiccan back. We defeated the side scheme, so we could stand up. Now we have a +1 to all of our stats. Then we're going to, one way or another, we're going to go look for a side scheme that is easy for us to get rid of. So something that has a 3, at least a 3, maybe a 4. Yeah, by any means is a good one to do. So normally when revealed, place 1 additional threat here for each villain routed, of which there are none. And that would give you an additional encounter card, which we don't want. Make it a little more visible there. There we go. So by any means is out. But we are, I'm going to draw 3 cards from one way or another. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Well, we can't one way or another again. We could Wiccan, then clear the area. So we're going to play a Wiccan. We're going to have Wiccan thwart 1 off of by any means. We're going to do damage to the villain. It's going to take 1. Then we're going to clear the area. Which will draw us a card. We're going to spend the chance encounter to put out establish perimeter. Then we're going to thwart it to give ourselves a tough. Okay. I can't argue with that very much. All right. One, two, three, four, 5. Grey Malkin, build support, call for backup, mind scan, and clear the area. Okay. So, threat's going to go on. Not counter. Harpoon's going to attack. So now we got to choose. Take 3 indirect damage. Give Harpoon 1 additional face down boost card for this attack. And it gains overkill. So since we currently are tough, we are going to choose to give him an additional face-down boost card. So, 3, 6, 7. Says if you control Morlock ally, choose to either deal 1 damage to it or spend 1 resource of any type. We don't have one. It's back in action, so it just blows our tough off. Next. Master plan. Place 4 threat in a side scheme. On each side scheme, luckily we got rid of them all. If there are no side schemes in play, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a side scheme is discarded and reveal the side scheme. Okay. Oh, there's one right away. Mutant Slayers. Each Marauder minion gains Quick Strike. When revealed, place 1 additional threat here for each character in play with 1 or more of the following: Mutant, X-Factor, X-Force, or X-Men. Well, we have 1. So it comes out with 4. Okay, that's not going to be very difficult for us to get rid of. So I think we're going to have, oops, we're going to Wiccan do a thwart. See what damage that does to Harpoon. It's going to do another 1. Think we want to get Grey Malkin out here first. We don't need to mind scan, so we're going to use mind scan to pay for a call for backup. Then we will pay, yes, we'll pay 2 for Grey Malkin. Cable will defeat Mutant Slayers. Now these are the +1. We'll stand it back up again. Then we will, oh, let's do this in different order. We are going to get rid of call for backup first, which means we can go get an ally, and that ally is going to be Professor X. So now we stand up. Professor X is going to confuse Harpoon. Then Professor X is going to get rid of Mutant Slayers. Then we're going to hit Harpoon for 3. It's down to 8. Nothing we can really do with Grey Malkin, and then we're going to flip down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Telekinetic Blast, Under Surveillance, Precognition, Bishop, Forced Amnesia, and Superpower Training. Okay. Threat goes on. Knock, knock. Harpoon's confused. And encounter card. He schemes. Scheme from 1 to 3, which is enough to flip it over. See? Oh my goodness. Advance is such an awful card. Okay, so Mutant Massacre. When revealed, each player puts Morlock ally aside, or into play on our side. 2, because we are playing solo. Shuffle the High Treachery into the encounter deck. If the previous stage was advanced by not counters, which it wasn't, give each Morlock ally a tough status card. So that would have made things somewhat easier. But so be it. Because now Morlocks are targeted for attacks, not the hero. It's still manageable. We're still good. We're good. Okay. Professor X goes away. Let's see what we can do here. Under surveillance is really good for us. Sewer power training is going to be good for us, and we think we're going to do that with Grey Malkin. Okay, so we're going to flip over. Use Grey Malkin, use the resource of Grey Malkin to put out superpower training. So then when we defeat this, we get to go looking for an upgrade. And put it into play. It has to be an identity specific one, I should point out. So we're going to defeat that. Meaning we stand up. And we put a support from our discard. Oh, identity specific upgrade. What do we have? I think we've got our gun in here somewhere. Yeah. Force field, no. Temporal loop, no. Scannison, no. It's got to be the gun. Okay, so telekinetic blast is very powerful now, but I want to get under surveillance out instead. To get rid of Harpoon. Which we can do. So we're going to do 4 with the plasma rifle using Grey Malkin. And then we can hit for 4. Then put out under surveillance. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to hit him for 4. Because he needs to go. He's just going to do too much damage against the Morlocks. Then we're going to hit him with Wiccan for 1. And then Cable will hit him for the last 3. So the next villain up. Oh, sorry. I got to put it over here under Routed. It's going to be Riptide. So Riptide, scheme of 2, attack of 2. When Riptide attacks you or an ally you control, choose to place 3 threat on the main scheme and 1 threat on each side scheme. Or Riptide gets +2 attack for this attack, and the attack gains ranged and piercing. Okay. And of course now he has Retaliate 1, and he's only got 12 health, so. Okay, so 1 down. Do I put under surveillance out? I think I kind of have to. So now it's a threshold of 12, which is a lot more manageable. And we're going to hold on to Telekinetic Blast and Bishop. All right. 1, 2, 3. Can we flip it? No, we flip back up, so we can't flip down. Okay. Telekinetic Blast, Bishop, Weapon Axe, Deadpool, and Mind Scan. Okay. So one threat goes on. Whoop, not 5. 1 threat. I changed around my bin. Got this great dollar store Plano here that fits everything better than my old one ever did. But I don't have as many compartments, so. Okay. So Riptide's going to attack. We're going to give him the +2. We have no choice but to defend this. We could put 3 threat on the main scheme because we could get rid of it. How many side schemes are in the victory display right now? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So Telekinetic Blast is now doing 10. And on this turn would be enough to take out Riptide. Do we do that? Or do we play it slower? I feel like I want to burn through them as quickly as possible. So I can hit him on this turn. Yeah, the threat, I don't like that threat. Unless the side scheme comes out. I still have the blast and the gun to do what I need to do. Yeah. Okay. So, he's going to attack. We're going to give him the +2. So he's attacking for 4, but we're going to defend for 3. So he's at a +1 right now. 2. Alright, that was fine. Encounter card is Chimera, so Patrol. So when Chimera attacks you or an ally you control, choose to spend a genius resource, or Chimera gets +2 for that attack, so she has a health of 5. So, yeah, she's going to have to go. She's a problem. And I think I can probably just use my Morlocks to do it as well. One of my Morlocks. Yeah, okay. So, first things first, we use Grim Malkin to fuel the rifle. It's going to do 4 to Chimera, and one of the Morlocks will hit her. Take her out. Kind of wanted to do the damage to Riptide, but so be it. I think I still can. Hell, I can even use the Morlock to thwart that one off of Mutant Massacre. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to spend our 3. Yeah, so let's have the Morlock thwart the one off of there. It won't take out Riptide, but we'll be really close. What do we want to keep? Just in case, I think I want to keep Mind Scan. So we're going to do 10 using Telekinetic Blast, so it goes down to 2. Yeah, we're going to hold on to that. And we're going to flip down. Oh, we took 1 from the Retaliate. And we'll flip down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mind scan, telekinetic blast, excellent. Chance encounter, a scanning sun, body slide, and skilled investigator. Okay. So over to him. Thrarko. Oh yeah, meant to flip down. Thrarko's on. He's going to scheme for 2, for 4. Counter card. Surge. Attach to villain. So push to limit. While there is exactly 1 villain under routed, attached villain gains steady. While there are exactly 2 villains under routed, gets stalwart and gets a +1 to their attack. Hero action, attached villain attacks you, discard this card. Okay, so he only gets this once. Oh no, I have to get him. I have to get him to attack. I basically force him to attack. Okay. Let's see. There's no side schemes out. We can get skilled and investigator out. We are going to need to mind scan. We can take him out with the gun and hit the next one for a lot. Okay. So let's put out skilled investigator. A little late in the game, but so be it. Are we going to heal? No. We could. Well, you know, there's a chance we could just win here. We attack for 3, 4, so it's 7, and then telekinetic blast is 10. Depending on the villain, I think we just win. Yeah, I think this is the path we've got here, and it's a pretty good one. Okay, so we're going to have each Morlock attack. They're each going to take damage, so they're living on the edge. So we take out Riptide, and we reveal Chimera. So an attack of 2, scheme to attack of 2. She has 14 health. When she attacks, you are an ally. You choose to spend two Genius Resource, or Chimera gets +2 attack for that attack. Okay. I don't see that as a problem for us. So we're going to attack for 3. So she's down to 11. Let me take 2 from the retaliate. We use Grey Malkin to fuel the gun. So we do 4. We don't take retaliate. So she's down to 7. And then we just do a telekinetic blast. Spending our 3 for that, which is going to do a whopping 10 because we have so many in the victory display. And boom. Yeah, she's just gone. Wow, that went really smooth. Considering I didn't have as many upgrades as I've had in other test games, I think the cards just came up right. We got a bit lucky, I think. You know, I've played this one where we've gotten hosed by Mastermind, really hurt us, especially when combined. I think I had one test game where I had Shadows of the Past and then Mastermind come out at the same time. Oh, we totally forgot to put Hyde I forgot to put Shuffle Hide into it. So Surge, when revealed, give one more Morlock ally a tough status card. You know, it wouldn't have really made any difference to that game whatsoever in the end. We were in the catbird seat the entire time. So even if this had turned up somewhere in there, it really would not have mattered. So again, they didn't even go through half of their deck by the time that we beat them. So, well, I mean, Cable, at least at this early stage, really feels very powerful. I want to test him out with different kinds of decks against different kinds of villains, but my goodness, very strong. Like, I wonder how well he would do against, say, Hela, that has just built-in victory schemes with the Justice deck like that. Because it's very easy to get that many side schemes into the victory pile, and then you've got Telekinetic Blast. Let's say it's late game against Hela, you've got 2 in there, you've got all, well, based on this deck, all 5. So that's 7. There's no max on Telekinetic Blast, so that goes to 13. That's pretty potent, and it's not really all that hard to pull off. Plus, Mind Scan is great as well. Never really got to play Body Slide, but interesting. And I was surprised how well that went, considering we didn't have Skilled Investigator out till much later. So that went really well, except of course for forgetting about Hide, but I don't really think that would have mattered in this game one iota. That was pretty potent. We overkilled. Let's say that Chimera even had a tough card. We overkilled her by 3, so we could have just pinged damage off, done damage, and vaporized her with Telekinetic Blast. So, wow. All right. So then goes Chimera, and Cable has rescued the Morlocks. So next game is going to be Domino against On the Run, where she, even though Cable won here in the scenarios, one of these villains is able to run away with Hope Summers. And so it's going to be up to Domino to try and rescue her. I like the fact that in this scenario the Morlocks got their digs in, because you know what? It's only right, I feel. They really should be beating up on these awful, awful Marauders. Okay, well, that's it for today. And thanks very much for watching. And until next time, happy gaming. Oh, and let me know what your experience with Next Evolution is so far. Thanks. Thank you so much for watching Longship Gaming. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. It will really help the channel to grow and improve. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you'll be notified when more Longship Gaming content goes live. Until next time, happy gaming.